Hey everybody, this is Grace. In this video, I want to talk about, have you ever had this happen to you? I have, but, and when you feel like you can't diagnose yourself and you haven't been diagnosed by anybody appropriate, but you feel like you suffer from, what is it called? Complex post-traumatic stress disorder. When something, unless it's been changed, the definition and all that. But basically when something bad, I don't know, I don't want to act like I'm a voice of authority on that, but for me, I'll give an example. For me, it's that anytime I have to deal with anybody in medical, any provider, healthcare provider, I don't care if I even know them, I've known them for a long while, I will suffer from anxiety beforehand. Usually goes away right after, but it's because the experiences have always been negative. I really cannot recall too many times when it was okay. Not really great, but not really bad. Most often they're bad. I have a rare health condition, and I'll summon right up. I've had doctors throw temper tantrums. Just met them. And they throw temper tantrums because I have this rare health condition. I mentioned it long ago in the past. I'm not going to do it again. But, and I have spent a good portion of my life, I'm thinking that I had it since I was a teenager or preteen. Since I was a child, in other words. And it just wasn't that well known back then. Should have been. And it's not that well known now. Because I have a particular doctor that he did not throw a temper tantrum. He did want to test me again, even though I've been diagnosed. And he had that kind of, he's a nice guy. You never know, nice guys sometimes turn into just as bad, I've noticed over these years. But he wanted to do all the tests. That's nothing unusual. I think that's all that many of these doctors I've run across, I'm not saying that would be your experience, mine. So we want more tests, test. Let's make some more tests. Let's do some more tests. Now the other ones are a little bit more. I have great insurance. I don't pay really anything. It might be like 20 or 40 bucks for what's my portion of these really big tests. It's not much at all, so it's not a big thing. So that's not the point. It's that they're wasting my time. And this thing right now, what I'm leading to talk about is that of y'all have been wasting my time, wasting my life, because now there is apparently something of a cure for my rare health condition. I'm 62. Finally, and I had this feeling all along. I said I will probably be in my 60s before they find a cure for this. But I didn't know that there was a cure. All these doctors I've told over all this time, nobody was saying, oh, there's a cure. Now we have this. Now, no. I actually did find out by myself, but I just wanted to make sure a doctor, and that I didn't ask this doctor, he told me. I wanted to hear a specialist say it, just instead of just something I read, because I don't just trust something I read or something I watched on a video or something like that. No, or even sometimes in shows, when somebody has a rare health condition, they talk about it. They don't always get it right. On TV shows, I'm serious. Not just this one. I've heard them say stuff about something that's like, but then again, maybe at that time, or, if it's an older show, that's all they knew about it. Anyway, so I've rushed through all that. Okay, so now here's the thing about this. And I'm curious if other people have had this experience. I have, okay. In the past, in the present. You know, it's when you feel like you're suffering from, this whole thing of you've been there before and it's never been good. Why are you expecting something different? Just because it's a different doctor or different whatever. They say the definition of a fool is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. Well, it should be different results. If you're doing something like seeing different doctors, the results shouldn't be the same, but I found out that quite often it is. For me. I'm not saying it would be for anybody else. Your experience may be very different. But anyway, but how many people have had this kick in? Okay, so I've had these really, really bad experiences, and one just a few days ago, and I got violently ill. Okay, and I truly believe it's the stress, which, given my health condition, stress is not good, and all this stuff, and so on and so forth. I'm leaving all that out. And so becoming violently ill is not unusual for it. And it's because of a doctor I saw that day. Seriously. Should know better. But, throwing a temper tantrum. I've seen so many doctors throw temper tantrums. I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. Far too many. And anyway, so I saw this. So I saw another one. Okay, not the same kind of specialist. This was one I already had. And today, I spoke to him, and something kicked in. This is what I'm asking. Has it kicked in like this for anybody else? Okay, the way it kicked in for me, I was still feeling so much anxiety, and I was wondering, what is this one going to do? And right now, this one is the one that I like out of all of them. We're two, but one's older and this one's younger. And these two I like out of all of them. They're different. One of them is my PCP and the other one is a specialist. I'm not going to say what kind. But something kicked in, and I wound up asking him that since he knows about my rare health condition, he's the one that's going to be handling that, and how that it doesn't make things normal for me, like medications, and as far as that's concerned, medications can have be bad for me because of the health condition. Like it actually came up in the conversation. He said, well, that could be it, plus the stress and so on and so forth. So anyway, so I asked him, are you going to be the one who has a say over all these things? He said, well, that's up to you. And I said, I understand his question was a little different than what I was saying, but so I let him know, and during the conversation, that I want him to be the person. I didn't say it flat out, but he got it. The doctor who regulates everything, who has the voice of authority with any other of these specialists or these doctors. They have to come to him and to see if they can do that, make those changes. I wasn't doing it intentionally, one would think. I really wasn't, because I was feeling so much anxiety. And once I started talking to him, I wasn't feeling so much anxiety, but the anxiety had been there, and because of my bad experiences, But this is the thing that kicked in, because doing that, like I said, I wasn't doing it intentionally, but I took it out of the hands of that doctor that I saw earlier this week. Took it right out of, well, it was last week, took it right out of his hands and handed it over to this nicer doctor, this nice doctor. I can't even say nicer, this nice doctor. Like I said, I wasn't doing it intentionally. I was doing it logically. He's the one that deals with my rare health condition, so he should be the one that, he's the one that regulates what kind of new medicines I'm put on. Is it a good or bad thing? Because one of them that they want to put me on could be a bad thing, because if they have medication now that will cure my rare health condition, They won't need to put, as he stated, they would not need me to be on that medication. You see? So of course it would be him. But the same token, it was this, my, what, I don't know what you call it. My conscience, my subconscious, or whatever kicked in and was, because I really didn't want that one doctor I saw last week to have any control over me, over what I do concerning other doctors. So it's good that I handed it to this guy. He's the voice of authority now. He's the one who tells the rest of the doctors, this is what we're going to do. So it was great. You see. Yeah, but has anybody else had something like that? And this is, like I said, it's not my first time, really. I cannot remember the times, but I can remember the feeling over all this lifetime of, wow, yeah, I said the right things. It wasn't intentional, but it happened. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm trying to figure out where Adam went. He went to walk the dog, one of the dogs. And so I'm going to go find that out. Talk to y'all in another video. Bye.